After months of thinking about it and deciding about it, I'm finally resigning from my job. And I'm going to take you with me today to write my resignation letter. And it has been 5 years since I've written my last resignation letter. So I want to sit down, talk about this whole thing, why I'm quitting my job, and how you can write your resignation letter too. And I want to take you today with me to write this because it has been a while since I have written my resignation letter. It's been over 5 years. I've been at this job for 5 years now, actually, 5 years in December. And I cannot believe that it's been long. I typically don't stay at a job for this long, but for some reason, I really love this job. And I'm gonna be with you today as I write my resignation letter because this is probably gonna be up next week. And by that time, I've already given my 2 weeks notice at my job. And this is so nerve-wracking. Let's go through it together. I thought that I was gonna be staying at this job forever, like it's gonna be my life or job, but an opportunity came up and I had decided to quit this job to grow into my career, specialize more. If you don't know, I have been a nurse practitioner and I've been working in pulmonary and sleep, and I'm gonna niche even more to just like sleep. I found that I really love sleep. I love pulmonary too. Like these two specialties are like my bread and butter, and I cannot see myself really working in other specialties besides pulmonary or sleep. But anyways, I am moving to a new position that has a better pay, has better opportunities as far as like growth. And this requires me and my family to move in a different location. So this is going to be a very big change for us. And my husband is an engineer, if you don't know, and where we're going to be moving at is a place where he can have more opportunities as well for his career. And engineering up in the Bay Area is just like much better than here in Central California, where it's very hard to find a job. Now, that's really the main thing. I really want to grow into my profession. I really want to see what's out there and take that risk and not regret not taking this. Like, I don't want to have that regret in the future and be like, what if I have taken that job? What if we moved to a different city? What could have happened? That kind of stuff. And I've always been one of those people who likes to take risks because I feel like this is where we really grow out of our comfort zone and where we're really pushed outside of our boundaries. But anyways, I'm writing my resignation letter today. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is actually go through my old resignation letter. And I love having an email that's like super old because one day actually I was like talking to my coworker and I had mentioned to her how my email, like my Yahoo email, I don't even think anybody even has any Yahoo email anymore, but my Yahoo email knows my whole life story. Honestly, like from the moment that I got into college and then got my first nursing job, even as an intern, like it has known me this years, and it has all the letters or the emails that I have sent to like recruiters, to like managers, everything, even my certifications and all that stuff. So I love having an email that's been with me for so long because I can just look it up. And like right now I'm looking up resignation letter, and let me see when's the last time I've actually used it. So I did use it back in November 25, 20, no, this is October 30, 2019. So that is the time that I actually did my cover letter. So let's go through it. And I'm actually going to be using the same template and I'm going to show it to you guys. Okay, over here, I'm going to put it in the Google Doc. Okay, so the first thing is that, there are reasons why you should be giving a resignation letter, especially if you plan on switching jobs or resigning from your position. I know that people will tell you to just quit, just don't show up. But I think, and I fully believe in not burning bridges. So I always have like good relationship with the previous companies or hospitals that I have worked with. And this is why you have to have a resignation letter to give them the notice so they can fully prepare. Okay, I put in my thing right here. And also, I think this is a good way to know how you're setting the tone for your final days at work. If you are a nurse practitioner, it may be a little different than a nurse or like a registered nurse working in a hospital, like when it comes to like resignation, like the time frame. Because if you're an employee of the hospital, typically they want you to give them notice at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks notice. But if you're a nurse practitioner, depending on what is in your contract, it may be like a month, it may be like 90 days. So make sure that you are aware of that. In my case, I don't necessarily have any specifics on the time frame. I am an employee of the hospital, so for me it's like a 2-week notice, but I'm actually going to give them a little close to a month notice, just because I have a panel of patients and I don't want to just leave them. I don't want to just peace out and be like bye. I don't want to be like that. Like, I want to make sure that I have tied up all the loose ends and make sure that like I say bye to like my patients that I have been in a good relationship with over the past like 5 years, and make sure that I am helping also my last job, find someone, or like at least have somebody who will cover for me when I leave. I'm also thinking about my patients in this case. Like, I really don't want to just, I really have good relationships with my patients, and I really don't want to leave them like out of the blue. I've had some patients that I actually like they would just come to the clinic just to have a conversation with me, or they just want to tell me a story about their life, about their family. So I know them personally, even though we're not really that close. Like, in a way, we've been connected. So I don't want to just leave them and they would like just find out that, oh my gosh, like my nurse practitioner is gone, who didn't even say bye or anything like that. So I want to make sure that I at least give them the notice. So now we're gonna go to the sections of the resignation letter. Like, I want to be clear and concise, and also want to make sure that it's thoughtful and it's not like one of those things that you just copy paste like from the internet. You want to sound genuine as well. So for me, for the resignation letter, the first thing that I'm gonna put is, of course, the greeting, or you addressing who that letter is for. In my case, I'm writing it to my attending physician and also my manager. And then the second part would be the statement of resignation. You don't want to just beat around the bush. You don't want to do that. So you want to just be clear and concise and just let them know that letter is what it's for. So I would be putting, I am writing to formally resign from my position as a nurse practitioner in this clinic, this specialty. And as much as I do not want to leave, I feel like this will be very beneficial for my long-term career goals and objectives. That is not necessary, but you can put that. But I would also include in the statement of resignation effective what your last day would be. You want to give them a time frame of when your last day is going to be, because that way they can prepare, they can find someone who can fill in your position and do the work that you're doing, and just want to give them a heads up pretty much. Like, I have seen some videos online where they tell you just quit right away. I do not recommend that. You really want to leave on a good note, right? So that is the second section. The third section is gratitude. So you want to also be thankful for the opportunity or the things that you have actually appreciated working in that company for. I would say, I would like to thank you for providing me with an opportunity to work in the pulmonary and sleep department, and I have developed my skill set while gaining work experience. I appreciate the professional guidance and support that you have given. Just like that, like short and sweet. You're not writing a letter to your like lover or someone else. So you want to just be clear and concise and just like straight to the point. The fourth section is offer of transition support. This is optional, but I think that it's really thoughtful to be doing this, especially if you are a nurse practitioner, just because it's so hard for someone else to fill in your shoes and you have a panel of patients that you are seeing. So in my case, I'm going to be writing down, I hope that this notice will give you sufficient time to find a replacement for me. And if I can help tie up any loose ends in the next coming weeks, please let me know. I would love to help out the clinic as much as I can to make this transition seamless. Couldn't think of a word. But that would be the next section. And then the last section, or the fifth section, is a closing line and your signature. So I sincerely wish you and the entire med specialty or like the pulmonary team at this specific clinic the best of luck in the future. Thank you very much. So that's it. That's really all you have to put in your resignation letter. It's not going to be long. Like, you don't want it to be too long to where it look like they're going to be reading a whole book or a whole essay. Like, you just want to make sure that you let them know and you're thankful for the opportunity that they have given you. So here are some of the mistakes that you have to avoid when you're writing a resignation letter. Number one is you don't want to be negative and you don't want to be overly emotional, right? Like, you are not going to be putting down, I hate this job, this is why I'm leaving. Don't put that. And you don't also want to vent your frustrations and over explaining, just because this is not something that you'd have to put in your resignation letter. Like, you're already leaving. I know if you have this frustrations, like, this is something that could be done talking to your manager, or at least putting it in writing in a separate email. This is not something that you have to put in your resignation letter. Other thing is, I wouldn't be putting any informal language or tone. You want to make it as professional as you can, because you are in a professional career. And then the last thing is not putting your last date or your end date. You have to be very concise on when your last day would be. I think it just gives them a better idea of like how they're going to prepare. So yeah, so that is my resignation letter. And I know if you are at a point where you're thinking about resigning your job and you're just like, don't know if it's the right choice or if it's the right decision, just know that you're not alone, and that a lot of us don't know if it is a better or right decision. Like, you won't know if you mess up on something as far as like making a big life decision until you've actually made that decision. So I don't know what the future holds for me. Like, honestly, I could just stay at this job. Like, I could be comfortable, I could be making good money, I could be at peace, and that's it. A lot of people are probably going to tell me, why are you going to rock the boat? Why are you trying to make life harder for you if it's already going so right now? But I also believe that you won't know what you're missing or like what other opportunities are out there if you don't go for them. I'm a full believer that the best is yet to come. That is like one of my favorite quotes. Like, you can see it in my office. And the better days are still ahead. Better opportunities are still ahead. Not saying that I should not be content of where I'm at. There's a big difference with being content and being satisfied. And I had watched a podcast about this, about you should be content in a sense that you should be thankful for what you have. You should acknowledge that you are in a really abundant life right now and you are appreciating everything. But at the same time, like, you don't have to be satisfied. And that life is about like experiencing things and like living for what is out there. It could be a better thing, it could be another lesson, it could be another opportunity, but life is about that. Like it's about living, it's about having that fear of not knowing what's ahead. And I think that's beautiful. I also want to talk about this like really nice quote. Like I wrote it on my Substack a few days ago because has been bugging me for so long. It has been weighing on my mind if I'm making the right decision or not, and how I'm actually, even though I try to play it off and I try to like feel confident in my decisions, like sometimes like I am scared. I don't know if I'm making the right decision. So I wrote it in my blog and I talked about how instead of feeling fear, we should feel excited of the unknown and feel excited of what's yet ahead, and there and how lucky that we are uncertain about your future, and how lucky are we to be uncertain of our future because the options are plentiful. And I think that's really beautiful, and that life really is like an endless labyrinth with so many unknown pathways, and every decision that you make leads you to different outcomes, different destinations. And how cool is it that you have infinite possibilities and that you actually have a choice to pick what path you should be taking? And I think, like I had mentioned earlier, I could just get stuck here in this city and just live here, but I feel intuitively that there's more out there and more opportunities out there. And it really is just me wanting to see what's out there. I have always lived a planned life, right? Like I have always planned my life because I want clarity. I don't want to be scared and I don't want to be uncomfortable. But if we follow like a set script in life, and everything that we had planned for actually happens like step by step, there's no fun in that. There's no fun in living if everything else just always keeps going according to plan. And my life has been a series of so many unplanned events, and it has been great. Yeah, like I'm resigning my really comfortable job. And if you are in the same position as I'm in right now, know that the best is yet to come, and that whatever decision you make is the right decision, because you won't really know if it's the right or wrong one unless you actually do it. And if you need help on writing your resignation letter, if you have that nudge to write that resignation letter, if you're in the process of resigning from one job to the other, I hope that this video is helpful for you, and I hope that it helps you grow in your career and in your life. And yeah, so I will see you in the next video. And I know that this is out of my usual money content, but I think that this is also very pertinent in the topic that I talk about, which is investing, and that includes investing in yourself and your potential, and maybe that lies in the next job ahead. See you in the next video. Bye.